Hi, tenacious tubers. Megan here with another episode of Recovery Crafting. The heat is on, the sun is shining, and today I'm going to do something a little different. So stick around with me, and we're going to have a little bit of a story time in preparation for next week's episode. So hang in there, we'll be right back. Alright, tenacious tubers. So, like I said, we're going to do a little bit of a story time today. As I said, it is sunny outside, but it's cold. I'm cold, so I'm just going to curl up and talk to you a little bit about next week's episode. Next week's episode is going to be kind of an emotional one because I'm doing a memorial craft, something that my grandmother taught me when I was young, and I haven't done it in a while. My aunt actually suggested it to me, and I thought it was a great idea for a craft because it's awesome. It's so much fun. But for some reason, because it's going to be an emotional thing for me, I was having a really hard time this week trying to figure out what I wanted this previous episode to be about. Like, I couldn't focus on it for some reason. And I was taking a shower before I started filming this, and I'm freaking out because I can't figure out what content I'm going to put out, what craft I wanted to do today. And all I could focus on was, like, the upcoming episode for next week. And so I remembered that a big part of the reason for this channel is to allow myself to be open and raw with you guys in as many ways as I can to let you into my world and to make you more comfortable with the idea that life gets hard and things suck hard sometimes, especially as a person who's in recovery. And it's not all sunshine and rainbows and roses and unicorn farts, but that there are ways to get through it, and that we as a community can get through a lot more together than we can individually. And that's something that in recovery takes a long time to learn. People who are in recovery, People who have suffered from any sort of addiction or mental illness have a very strong tendency to segregate themselves and seclude themselves from friends and family, and we become very isolated. My dad's side of the family is very large. My dad has 7 brothers and sisters, and then there's their husbands and wives, cousins and second cousins, and the family is huge. And I started falling out of contact with that side of the family before my alcoholism actually ever really took a hold. For many different reasons. Things started to go south. And it's something that will always be in the back of everyone's minds. We all have different opinions and views as to why that happened. But that's neither here nor there. But as I started to lose touch with that side of the family, it seems that even in getting sober and having more time on my hands, it's very difficult to get back in touch with a family that is so large. It almost seems like a full-time job when you think about trying to contact everybody or carve out time to reach out to everybody. And it's been a daunting task for me. It's something that I've been working at because I do feel guilty for having secluded myself from that side of the family for so long. And it's hard for me to grasp the fact that I don't have to try to reach out to everybody all the time, all at once. It's going to take time. And, it's not like I live very close to them. It's several hours worth of travel. And especially for me, since I don't drive, I have to take public transportation. And, in other instances, for instance, with my wedding coming up and trying to figure out we're doing it in a small venue. And I can't invite everybody on that side of the family, and it's very, very hard. Because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That's another thing that comes out of this sobriety is, we're people pleasers. We feel like we've done so much damage that we end up becoming yes people. And a lot of times it's to our detriment, because we end up wanting to just make everybody happy because we feel like we made them so miserable that we have to find ways to make up for that. And it's very hard to deny somebody something, and it's a daily struggle. Getting back to the craft at hand, my grandmother passed away 2 years ago on St. Patrick's Day. I only had 9 months of sobriety under my belt at the time. And that was nowhere near enough time for me to make amends with her for being so distant. I never had the chance to tell her how sorry I was for falling out of touch. That side of the family knew somewhat of my struggles, but again, it wasn't like I was making phone calls. My godmother knew a little bit more than anybody else because she was the one I had the most contact with. And needless to say, I had found out that she was sick. She was in and out of the hospital. And by the time I could even make arrangements to go down there, I had already gotten the message that she was gone. And I'm in the middle of the process of working through the things that I did and coming to terms with them and making amends not making amends yet. I'm more working on cleaning up my side of the street and holding myself accountable for the things that happened while I was an alcoholic. And it's very difficult in my mind right now to reconcile things that I did, or things in this case that I didn't do, with people that I can no longer communicate with in the normal sense. So this craft that is coming up, I am putting out there on the weekend before St. Patrick's Day as a memoriam tribute to my grandmother. And it's kind of my way of saying, I love you, and I'm sorry. And it's a way for me to express emotions that I can't really get out any other way. Sometimes crafting for me is that kind of catharsis. It's a way for me to express feelings and emotions that sometimes may be more difficult for me to express through words. But for this, it's also a way of remembering that no matter what, she was still my grandmother, and I do remember all of the good times that we had together when I was really young. I remember sitting at the kitchen table, not the dining room table, that was for family events. The kitchen table, and she would set me up with a paper plate and some fabric glue and some dowels and styrofoam wreaths and a whole bunch of fabric. And it was something that I would just sit there for hours. Now I think about it now and I kind of chuckle. It's certainly a way for a grandmother to keep their grandchild busy and occupied, especially if you're a crafty like me. Certainly a way to keep them occupied for hours. And like I say, I kind of look back at it and laugh now because I'm like, oh, because she could just go ahead and do whatever else she needed to. I was occupied for a long time when I got working on one of these projects. But it is emotional to me because I didn't get to say what I needed to say before she passed. and now she's gone. And I can't express to her that I can't express my love to her, and that I can't speak to her and let her know about the struggles I was going through. And I don't know how much of it she knew or how much of it she understood. And St. Patrick's Day, coming from an Irish Catholic side of the family, is it's a big day. And it always seemed apropos to me that that was the day that she passed, because she wouldn't have wanted any of us to be miserable. And St. Patrick's Day is a very big celebration for that side of the family. And I know it's still raw for a lot of people, but I know that it will eventually turn back into a day of celebration, not only celebrating our heritage, but celebrating the life of a woman who meant so much to all of us. So, like I said, I wanted to be candid with you about this because it was overwhelming my thoughts and I couldn't focus, and I couldn't come up with any other topic to craft with you, or any other. I couldn't come up with any craft that felt good to share with you today, and I just decided to go back to the roots of why I started this channel and let you know that sometimes things are gonna get heavy, and crafting might seem like, it might not seem like the best way to, how do I phrase this? This is not scripted. This is, like I said, I got out of the shower and I just sat down and was like, screw it. This is what I'm doing. This is the video that I'm making. I can't think of anything else. I'm just going to tell them why I can't focus on anything else right now. It might not seem like the proper way to commemorate someone, I guess, but in my head, this is me doing honor, and sharing something that's very close to my heart. And this is a way for me to honor her, and to let everybody know that I remember. You know, I might have been sick and absent for a long time, but I still, she never left my thoughts. I was still there with that side of the family, as an absent partner. Growing up, I have more memories, and there are more family jokes, and there's such beautiful memories that I have of everybody getting together. And everybody's grown up now, and everybody's changed. And I regret that I missed 10 years of new memories with that side of the family. But I can't go back. All I can do is look forward and try to get better every day at becoming the person I want to be and not the person that I was. And again, I just wanted to be candid with everybody. I know that some of my family watches this channel, and I just want to say that I love you. I love you a lot, to everybody, and I still know that I have a hard time at calling and keeping in touch. Again, there are a lot of you. And it's a daunting, like, setting goals for me now. This has become like the new thing. So I can't look at a room and say, I need to clean this room today. I need to be like, okay, I need to vacuum this room today. Or I need to take this bookshelf and dust this. Or I need to take those giant goals and break them down into smaller goals, because if I take on those big goals, suddenly I don't get anything done because I become overwhelmed, and I get tired just thinking about it. Next thing you know, I've spent 4 hours reading a book on my couch and I haven't accomplished anything. As opposed to, if I take it down into the simplest step, I need to pay this bill today. I need to I need to run one errand today. I need to pay 2 bills today. That's it. Simple tasks that I can, so that I feel like I can accomplish and then say, hey, look, I reached this goal today. I did exactly what I wanted to. And trying to reach out to everybody in the family, it kind of feels like that. It's like I have to try to find a way where, even if it's just, I need to get you guys on a rotating schedule. Like one weekend I contact this person, the next weekend I contact this person. I shoot an email out to this person next week, and then just get you guys on a continuous loop. But know that I think about you all lots, and I love you bunches. And that I just wanted to talk to you guys today and let you know that I'm here to talk when it comes to anybody in recovery. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you're having a hard time with something, recovery, having a community in recovery is extremely important. Whether or not you're into the whole meeting thing, or if that's not your gig, or if it's not for addiction, if that's not what brought you here, if if you're here for some sort of mental health struggle, if it's depression, bipolar, severe anxiety, having somebody to be able to talk to who's non-judgmental. I'm not trying to be anybody's therapist, but I'm just trying to let you know that there are outlets, and there are ways to get emotions across and get through them. And sometimes you need to get through them by talking about them and not just stewing in your own negativity. And that's part of what this channel is for me. And I don't want to lose sight of that I can be as unscripted and candid and raw with you guys about the struggles of recovery. And now that I've rambled on for 16 minutes and 20 seconds, I am going to let you go. But again, thank you for sticking with me. And next week we will do a craft that is very close to my heart, and that reminds me of my grandmother and the good times that I had with her. And maybe it'll help me feel a little bit more connected with her and with my family and with all of you. And we'll talk a little bit more about crafting as a way to channel those people that we may have lost, whether it be friends, family, pets, anything like that. We can get through it. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys there with that. But I love you all bunches. Do all the things, like, share, subscribe, hit the buttons, leave me comments, send me emails. And I look forward to meeting with you guys next week and getting back on the crafting train. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Mwah.